Hello and welcome to the new 8 p.m. show. And when I say new, we are not going to always have the show at 8 p.m., but we are going to come live more often because Rahul has promised me he will give more time to lives. And Rahul, we all know that, the World Cup fever is on. But there is one World Cup dream which we have been chasing other than the ICC trophy, and that is, of course, the Football World Cup. I think
Absolutely.
both of us were present for the India Kuwait game at Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Kridangan, but we did not talk about it much because that day was more about Sunil Chetri. And by
Absolutely.
the time that we got over the whole Sunil Chetri emotion, we quickly had to shift to the India Pakistan game.
Hmm.
So today I kind of want to, uh, take you back to that game, right? So my first question to you would be, uh, straight up, how would you rate India's performance? Forget about the 0-0, forget about the everything else. Out of 10, if I ask you how much you're gonna rate India's performance against Kuwait.
Yeah, absolutely. If I have to look back at that game, and I can look back at two ways. If you ask me to compare it with the previous game that India played against Afghanistan, then I would
Right.
say any football buff would say that India played much better than that game. But again, if you ask me, taking in taking that India have prepared for 3 weeks for this game. So given that, it was really an ordinary performance from the Blue Tigers, to be honest, because against Kuwait, when you have the home crowd, and that's an extraordinary, they played before a capacity crowd. It was around 60K. Everyone is with you, and then you have got one of the best motivation that your legend, your captain is retiring. What else you need? Against Kuwait, against whom you have also registered your last win, that is in November last year, even in their own backyard. So we all had a lot of expectation that at least we won't have to wait till the last game to secure our qualification to the next round. So given that, it was really disappointing performance, to be honest. Even we if you ask me to analyze the game, then there are many aspects in the game that we think we performed below par, especially Apuya was not there. And it's really sad to talk about that. We have missed, the Apuya was not there, and we had no other player in the bench who can replace Apuya. We have missed badly Apuya in the midfield, to be honest, because Anirudh Thapa and Suresh was playing in the midfield, but I think none of them could live up to the expectation. And apart from Apuya, there are many points to discuss. I think Snehash is also there. Snehash can also look back at that game.
Snehashish, I will come to you with a very particular aspect of the game. Still looking back at the game, we will definitely be looking at the future of Indian football and the all important match where our future lies, is completely at stake. But before I go to Snehashish, this is a request to all of you that, we are working really hard and not trying to gain sympathy from you guys, but all of us here actually reached home yesterday after the match at 5 a.m. and we were back working at 8 a.m. We love our job, we love sports, but at the end of the day we are working very very hard. Rohan has gotten into darkness because he he is very sleepy. All of us are sleepy, but we are bringing you good content, or at least we are attempting to bring you good content. So please like, share, and subscribe to Rev Sports Premium. Ask questions, hard ones. Shopnil Mukherjee does no more Chetri will affect in formation and tactics. Will there be in midfield changes on Qatar match? And please some transfer news also. Shopnil, you could have asked 4 questions. You asked, this is a lengthy question, a 20 marks question. But first, Nehashish, I'll come to you because he has spoken about Chetri. Um, there were a few chances created by India, but in general, even Chetri looked, well, out of sorts. But let's not discuss him. The team has moved on, or at least the team has to move on. Who do you see from the next game? To answer Shopnil, and then Rohan, I'll come to you about something that Rahul referred to and is extremely important. Changte was played a very significant role, but if you see Thapa and the rest of the midfielders, there's definitely a problem with passing the ball. So I'll come to you, Rohan,
There were a
first.
lot of
Nehashim,
problems with
who
Indian
would
team.
be our replacement?
I think before the last match, the coach also said that even in the press conference, coach said that Rahim was so impressive that he was very happy with Rahim's performance in that in the practice sessions and all. But it was disappointing to see him missing that chance because we all were in the stadium, right? And the way he controlled that ball, that was the toughest job in that move. He did that
Exactly.
job beautifully. He controlled that ball, but the last thing that he needed to do that to smash that ball properly into that goal, he didn't. He failed to connect that ball properly. I think that is where a difference of a brilliant striker and a player who want to be a good striker, right? I think you need to know how to score goals, and you need to know when I to hit the ball. What is the perfect timing to beat that defender, to beat that goalkeeper? I think it's okay that Rahim Ali. It's a new start for India and for Rahim Ali. For if coach uses like in the next match, I think Rahim Ali might start because coach has been impressive with him. But if you ask me, me and Rahul were having a chat yesterday night also that maybe Vikram Pratap Singh might be a good option because we have seen him
Yeah,
playing
please,
in
I
the.
will stop you there. I'll stop you there. When we shift to the India Qatar game, of course, we will, go deep and discuss who is going to exactly play for Sunil Chetri. But before I quickly move to Qatar, no, I am not moving to Qatar. But, we will be talking about India Qatar. Let me go to Rohan with the question that our midfield still appear to be very you know what the beauty of football, or where you actually, yes, you score goals in the net, you have to hit a goal, I get it, but the play is made in the midfield area. That is where India, some horrible passes, Rohan, they were straight up passing it to the Kuwait players. And how much is the midfield worrying you? I know there's a lot of talk about Sunil Chetri not being there. How will it affect the frontal part, the attacking part? But what about the midfield, Rohan?
I was pretty surprised because we had been talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So we had multiple talks of not getting much time with the national team, but this time Indian team got a long 3 4 weeks camp. Yet there were so many miss passes. It shows that there has. I think the Indian team, the midfield is pretty much inexperienced also to take up a huge pressure. I think there has been uh, miscommunication between them because the players are quite inexperienced and young to take up such a huge crowd pressure. Me and Rahul had been talking about this in the Bangla preview also because there are players who have not seen such huge crowd and has not played in a match with such significance because firstly there was a media pressure and fan pressure of giving Sunil Chetri the perfect farewell. There was a talk of qualifying to the third round, and there was a pressure of the 62,000 crowd. So I think there were a lot of points which piled upon the pressure for the players. But I think but there are some things you can't give excuses because mispassing is one thing and miscommunication, lack of communication between the players is one thing. Me and Siashish were talking. There were multiple instances where people are playing back passes where there were no defenders left. So they were
exactly.
passing it unforced error. So one is a forced error that the opponent player is pressing you and you give a miss pass, and there are times that you are passing backwards where there are no one there of your team. So it shows that
Correct.
there are no coordination among the players. So that was pretty surprising because the team had 3 to 4 weeks of time to gel with them. But I think uh, coach team has also had taken note of those, and it will be addressed in the Qatar match. Let's see what happens, but in the long run, there should be a good balance between the experienced and the young players, because uh, and we had a talk of Sahal Abdul Samad coming back after a long time, for the national team, and that is also a big, huge. It was a huge boost for the midfield, but again, might be that it has been a long time that Sahal Abdul Samad had played an actual match
Maybe he
with
needs
this
a
bunch
little
of
more
players.
game time. Absolutely.
So, so
Um,
there were
there is
multiple
something,
factors.
Rohan. Yeah, Rahul. Yeah, on mute, you can say whatever you want to, but none of us can hear you.
No, actually, you were asking about the midfield, right? And that our
Yeah,
midfield lacked cohesion. Like not only against Kuwait, but against Afghanistan also, we have all witnessed the same display. So
Hmm.
exactly.
I have only one question for you three, and also for our fans as well. How many times we have seen Indian midfielder name in the headline in the match review? Most of the time we have seen foreigners name, Ahmed Jahu or
Absolutely.
someone else, Hugo Bumo or Johnny Kauko. So that's the reason.
Excellent
Most of
point.
the time in the ISL team, you will see the foreign midfielders, giving some defense breaking assist and all. The head team's head coach, most of them are relying on the foreigners. And what role they are giving to the Indian midfielders? Just the supporting role. Maybe they are Sahal, they are Anirudh Thapa, but how many times you will see that those players are creating difference? I think hardly in one or two teams in the last 3 or 4 years, I have seen that they are playing two Indian midfielders in the playing 11. So that's the reason I think now no one will depend on me, but I think we'll have to at some point we'll have to reduce the number of foreigners so that we can rely on the Indian players throughout the whole season, and that's where lies the key for this problem.
Well,
It's fantastic that I'm hosting this, because it almost makes me feel so powerful, like a business, like a news anchor. Because I can see Snehashish putting his hand up, Rohan putting his hand up. Snehashish, you were 20 seconds late. Rohan was the first one to put his hand up. So, Rohan, yes.
I think this is a vicious circle, because you take the example of
Which
the
one
state
is a
league.
vicious circle? Including foreigners? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So take the example of Calcutta Football League. When we were growing up, we used to watch Calcutta Football League like mad people. We used to uh, stay focused when which player the team are buying in the transfer season, especially the foreigners. So the foreigners and the senior players actually added the masala to the game. Now when the state AFF has banned foreigners in the state leagues, including the CFL. Now look at the condition of CFL. Nobody keeps an eye on the CFL. But on the other hand, if you are allowing the foreigners to participate in these leagues, the teams are only focused on three main positions: center back, center mid, and center forward. Those are the main three center line positions. So you are allowing the foreigners, then you are not giving enough chances to the Indians, and you are not allowing the foreigners, then your monetary and commercial value goes down. So what will you do?
Brilliant. Brilliant. Snehashish, still putting your hand up. Same point, different point.
I think this is you cannot put an end to this discussion because this is the cycle
I
that
don't
has
want to. Go ahead.
I think this is the cycle that has been creating problem in Indian football for a long time. And I just want to add one point that in a team, when two midfielders plays, one midfielder is there, who is calm and just for the defensive duties, right? And one midfielder is there, to construct the attacking gameplay, to give forward passes to the strikers and all. I think there, Apuya, what Rahul said that how many Indian midfielders make the headlines for newspapers and all. I think Apuya is the only one who gets some headlines from ISL because he has that
And
quality. He is
and
he.
Apuya is the only player who doesn't have any interest in playing for the national team.
That's the harsh.
Wow.
But yeah, I think I'm saying that only that he is the only player who gets some headlines, and he is that coming factor. He brings that coming factor. If you see the successful teams, whether it is for national team like France. you have an N'Golo Kanto, and then Pogba can play that role, that attacking role. You have, if you see Barcelona, you have De Jong, and then someone. If you see the earlier Barcelona, you have Sergio Busquets there, calm and composed. You have Iniesta to go for the forward line person. In current, we have Modric. Then used to play those passes. I think this is the combination that India missing, and that is the same combination you are missing in almost maximum clubs in ISL also. Because if you see the midfielders that are coming from foreigns, they are like mainly attacking midfielders. I don't think many CDM or the typical CDM midfielders come from foreign in India. Uh, Even I think Abhishek Suryavanshi, excellent stadium midfielder. He played an excellent season for Mohun Bagan. But who got the headline? Abhishek Suryavanshi got some headlines because of that our local reporters, because we know how important role he played for Mohun Bagan. But who got the headlines? Johnny Kauko, the Euro player. Johnny Kauko got the headline that he changed the whole gameplay under Havas for Mohun Bagan. I think that is the main issue. But but what Rohan said, I don't want to add anything. Even I take
Yeah, we will go into that. We will go into that as well. Why Apuya has no interest, and also there are some other questions that I have in mind about the franchisee leagues, because they are increasing in numbers in every sport. But today, let's shift a little bit of our focus and concentration to the all important match where you know. Almost like Indian football's 4 years are now hanging by the thread. It's India versus Qatar tomorrow at 9:15 p.m. And before I go to Rahul with my question, to you viewers, we will be live right after the match. We will be discussing, of course, critical discussions. Come up with your questions. But to do all that, you guys have to like, share, and subscribe to Rev Sports Premium. Rahul, to you straight up, we are continuously somewhere we are being hopeful that Qatar is probably have got a youthful side, have got a young side, and maybe, just maybe, we are better placed. I won't say we are the favorites because our football is not allowing me to say that. I'm so sorry, but are we the favorites against Qatar? Or and the other question is, um, tell me a little more about the Qatar young side.
See, if you see that whether India or Qatar were favorites, I would like to draw one example that yes, this team has drawn against Afghanistan. If you see the stats, then it's Qatar who have dominated the position. It was 70 in favor of Qatar, and most of the number of shots on target was also in favor of Qatar. Yeah, they. I think the strikers of Qatar team was not so mature, was not so clinical, and that's why they couldn't score against Afghanistan. But again, at the same point of time, against this Afghanistan, our India couldn't salvage at least a point at our home turf. Again, at the same time, there are some ray of hopes that our India have better records in away games in this World Cup qualifier. Against Kuwait, we have registered 3 points. Against Afghanistan, we have managed a draw. And so this time, that's what favor India. And again, another thing the only thing I remember ahead of this match is in 2019, that's extraordinary performance of our team against Qatar. In absence of Sunil
Gurpreet Singh
Chhetri as
Sandhu.
well, Gurpreet Singh Sandhu's heroics. Last game also Gurpreet, came back to great form. So that augurs well for Indian team. So that's what.
Again, a bad sign for
What
any team.
absolutely.
Where
But
goalkeeper is the hero.
yeah. But to be realistic, against Qatar, we have a chance to salvage a point. But to get 3 points, I think our team need luck, and at the same time, they will have to put some. Everyone will have to bring their A game more than 100%.
Absolutely. But when we talk about more than 100%, Snehashish, I will come to you. Obviously, again, as Rohan said, it's quite frightening that Gurpreet had to be the best player last match, and he had to be, because our defense opened up more than we needed to, and more than we open up about our mental health. They kept opening up, kept giving a lot of space, but Gurpreet was fantastic. Now, here's what I'll ask you. I'm not going to ask you about how good Gurpreet is as a goalkeeper. Gurpreet playing in Sunil Chhetri's last match. Fantastic. Gurpreet, the captain, playing in a match which can define his career, because I don't know if he's going to play, if there's a World Cup qualifiers next, will we be playing that? How many years later will that be? There are so many, questions which are, I mean, far distinct. These are distinct futures. So the question is very simple. Gurpreet in this match will be a different person because the pressure will be high. You have been you have done very well in the last match. You are the captain right now. You have a young side where probably you're still trying out the combinations. How much pressure will be on Gurpreet? And absolutely realistically, without being, oh, he's an Indian, let me be nice to him. Do you think Gurpreet has it in him to handle that pressure? Because we have seen Gurpreet make the shallowest of mistakes, like the horrible of mistakes. So yeah,
Yes,
Neha.
yes. See, with the experience he has till now, both for national team and for club level, we expect him to handle that pressure, right? Because he has been in such situation for a long time, I think. Because this is not the first time that he has gone through a rough patch of form. There are several occasions that he has gone through that rough patch. But Gurpreet is our number one goalkeeper, and national team coach Igor Stimac has told that several times. And after Sunil Shetty's last match, when he came out for the press conference, I the first thing that I told Rahul that we are seeing our next captain. And yesterday,
Yes, you told it to us. Yes,
yeah, and
of course.
uh, I think that was a message from coach that he is our next captain. And what you said that tomorrow he will not be only the goalkeeper, he will be the leader, he will be the captain. I think last match where he performed, he knew that he had to perform because the run of form was not with him. So I think there was not such expectation from fans. Fans were expecting, okay, there might be some occasions like Gurpreet will make some mistake, whatever is happening throughout last few matches. But with the current form, what he did last match, now the expectation will be more from him in this match. And especially the heroics that Rahul mentioned, 2019, because he had done that previously in 2019. So in a match where India can create a history, in a match where Qatar is not coming with their full force, it's a younger side where Afghanistan had a due, yeah, from stats they had a terrible game. Afghanistan, I am saying, Qatar had a brilliant game. The team is very good, the young side, because you just forgot that you will be better if any other nation is playing their under 23 or under 20 side. Because I shared a screenshot 2 days back to Rohan. Japan's under 21 or under 19 team playing against Italy's under 21 team, on a less than two level, and they are losing the match 4-3. So that's the level of Japan football. So I was really shocked to see the scorecard that before coming to that national senior national team jersey, they are already that type of quality. They are having that type of quality. So I think that under 23, under 21 will not make a lot of difference to us. We have to play our more. We have to give out more than 100% to at least have a draw. And if we win somehow, history is done. But the pressure, it will be a huge, huge pressure both for Gurpreet and for the whole team. And it's a fresh start. I think uh, the best way to mark this start and to make this a memorable start for everyone to create this history.
Hmm.
All will be geared up for this, but it will not be an easy task for at all.
So Rohan, I'll come to you with who do you think will be the key players in the absence of, and I'm sorry, but this will happen, till we play probably 2, 3 matches, and India and Indian fans always look for heroes. Till we got a Virat Kohli, we kept asking who after Sachin Tendulkar. Uh, so in the same way, who after Sunil Chhetri, and not only we always talk about Sunil Chhetri and the goals. I think this is something that I was telling. I mean, we were discussing yesterday that Sunil at one point in the last game had actually, I mean, forget the striker role. He was continuously showing the players, "Oh, one of you stay down, you be up, you go to the right flank, you go to the left flank." There will be no captain. There will be no again, there are some other leaders, but we have to agree that that leader figure, that captain figure, that figure whom you could look up to when you're confused, when you're under pressure, that figure missing. So tell me some of the key players.
Well, talking about captaincy, I think Gurpreet is a very good choice to be the next captain, because goalkeepers are always good captains in a football team. I
Like
have
wicket
my
keepers.
yeah, because you know what, they can see the entire match in front of them. They can actually guide the players, uh, come back, go up. So goalkeepers can be good instruction givers on the pitch. And talking about the key players, three players were actually good in the Kuwait game. Lalenzwala Shante, he was very good. I really liked the inclusion of Jay Gupta in the defensive line, because he not only did the defensive job but also have a good ability to shoot from a distance. He can score screamers. He did well. I liked Liston's pace, but Liston is that kind of player whom to give example. When he performs, he is very good, but when he don't performs, we don't you don't want him in your team. So you just want Liston is in a good shape that day. But Lalenzwala Changte has really impressed me a lot. But talking about the forward line, the most talked about position right now after Sunil Chetri, Rahim Ali, me and Snehashish were discussing that day that Rahim Ali had the chance of announcing his appearance, that I have
Arrival. Yeah.
arrived, I have arrived, but he missed it, and that's why we are doing this discussion right now. Had he scored that one, we would have already qualified. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, over the years, we had different attackers, but none of them were consistent. Sunil Chhetri has been playing from 2007 2008 from the AFC Challengers Cup with Baichung Bhutia. Then came JJ Lal Peklua.
19 years.
Yeah.
Much before 2008. uh, do the
Oh,
maths. 24
okay.
90, we are in 2024, 19 years, 2005. Wow, I
But
was in class
2008,
9. I was in class 9.
yeah. Now 2008 I mentioned because of the AFC Challengers Cup, which was a big boost,
Breakthrough. Yeah.
breakthrough, yeah, for breakthrough in Indian football. But he has played with Bachung Bhutia, JJ Alpeklua, and the other forwards. Many came and gone, but none of them were consistent like Sunil Chhetri. And if you see the current team, the last match that India played, Sunil Chhetri was the only player in the team with a double-digit goal figure. Other every player, including the other strikers, had goals figures of one goals. I mean, of one digit, some four,
Single
some
digit.
five,
Yeah.
some seven, and Sunil Chhetri 94. So you have a long
Not bad.
way to go, a much bigger shoes to fill. But I think Rahim Ali can be a good inclusion. Vikrant Pratap is also a very good striker. Ishan Pandita showed in that ISL season where he came back from Spain from Lorca FC. He showed good prospect, but he did not get enough match time. I think now when Sunil Chhetri is not there with the team, I think it will be good to find that replacement, because till now coach had to plan the team with Sunil Chhetri. Now you don't have to, so you can actually play other strikers, and people will get that time. So it happens with every team with a star figure. It happened with Barcelona with Lionel Messi. It happened with every other team. uh, Ronaldinho had to leave
Yes, it
Barcelona because
happens.
of Messi.
And just by the way, before people start saying that that makes the legends selfish, no, one game didn't make them legends. Years of hard work. When Sunil Chetri first played, nobody knew that Sunil will be playing for 19 years. So
Yeah,
whether he played two more games than he should have or not, if I'm being very honest, we do not even have that in Hindi or Bengali we say औकात नहीं. We don't even have that level that we should comment on it. But this is a very important discussion. But Rahul, I'll ask you a little different question. No, not taking you away from the match, but there is this meme that's going around after Pakistan was defeated by USA, that Pakistan was defeated by India B. Uh, so Qatar also has a few players who are of the Indian
Kerala,
origin, right?
Kerala,
Sorry.
Kerala B.
Fair enough. So, yes, because Kerala, by the way, is a very, very important place when it comes to football. While
Yeah.
other games, especially cricket, I mean, the game we keep talking about only has a Sanju Samson and very few actual representatives from Kerala, but football is a completely different thing there. So, Kerala B, there are players. Let's talk about Tehseen Mohammed Jamshed and Nabil Irfan a little, Rahul.
Yeah, both of them. No, both of their parents are from Kerala actually, but both of them were born in Qatar. But at the same time, the sad part for us is that because they have made it to the national team of Qatar, so now their Indian passport will be cancelled because nowadays most of the football buffs used to talk about PIO players and all. So they were thinking at one moment when they got to know about these two players that Igor can also try and bring these two players. So now you know we don't have that opportunity anymore, so they are now finally they will play for Qatar only. There are no more chance to come back to India. Yeah, talking about Jamshid, he got a chance against Afghanistan in the last game. And Nabil Irfan, though he was a bench warmer in that game. So we will have to keep eyes on Jamshid because of course he's a talented player and he's only 17 or 18. So that shows how much talent he possesses. The making it to the Qatar team is not a joke, to be honest. And though a lot of people are talking about that Qatar will field a C grade team, it's not even a B grade team, to be honest. So it's going to make easy for India. But looking at the stats against Afghanistan, it's really going to be difficult for India. And again, the talking point should center around Sandesh Jingan. There is no Jingan in our defense, and we all remember what happened last time when we faced Qatar, and also when we shouldered against the top giants of Asia in the Asian Cup. We all have witnessed what happened to our defense. So that's where lies the concerned part. So of course, there our Rahul Veke and Anwar Ali in defense will have to bring their A game, to be honest, if they have to stop Qatar.
I will talk more about the. Yes, Rohan. Let me finish my sentence.
Please,
I will talk more about defenders. Rohan, if it's about defenders, then maybe you should wait because I'll talk more about them later. But if it's about in general, you want to say something, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say we should have a discussion on allowing PIO players to the national team. Every other
Oh,
country in the world.
absolutely. I definitely want to have the discussion, but maybe we should keep it for after tomorrow's match because let's see
Yeah.
what happens. Because I have one more question actually about Sunil Chetri, but I'll keep that towards the end. And maybe I might sound harsh, but it's just that I'm just throwing in questions here and just asking Snehashi, Shohan, and Rahul to just dig deep. Talking about defense, Snehashish, I wanted to ask you, bowlers are important in every team. And unfortunately, they don't get the recognition. Maybe a few of them get it now, but they mostly don't. In the same way, defenders are not given that much respect. When I say respect, I'm not saying people disrespect them, but when your work is done, when you have a clean sheet, you don't talk about defenders. It is when you see days like the ones against Kuwait, when you see there's no, the defense being opened up over and over again. That is when you suddenly go like, oh, there's no Sandesh Jingan. But people are talking about a lot more about the strikers or the midfielders. But defense is an area where India has struggled ever since Sandesh Jingan has been injured, and it seems like he will be out of action probably till ISL for sure. So, Snehashish, who do you see maybe, do you see Slimatch bringing in any changes in the defense line? What exactly do you hope will Stimatch do or can Stimatch do better for the next team?
Should.
See, thing that I want to say that bowlers win you championship, and then the defenders win you championship in football. It's the same.
Absolutely.
Okay. because if you see the league, we all follow the European leagues and all because the clubs who win maximum of their titles, it's all because of that solid defense. Real Madrid won 15 UEFA Championship not because of their outstanding attacks. Obviously, they score goals. Goals are important to win games, but the defense is the main core and a solid midfield also. So I think overall, team is completely dependent on a base, and that is base is on solid defense. And the discussion with Sandesh Ringan, yeah, I think Igor Stimac has no such player to replace that player. You can't replace Sandesh Ringan. And I
Yes,
think
yes, we can replace Igor's match, and if he doesn't win tomorrow, then I'm sure we will replace him. But yeah, sorry.
that we will discuss if something goes wrong tomorrow. but for now, it is true that no one can replace Sandesh Ringan. And the options that Igosti match has now, I think this is the option he has now best available to him. That play Rahul Beke and Anwar Ali. But if you see the last game, I think Anwar Ali has a decent game. He played well. But the main problem is the communication between Rahul Beke and Anwar Ali. The point that Rohan said that despite having 4 5 weeks camp, the lack of communication is the main concern, right? Because how it is not possible that two center backs are not connecting, are not understanding each other. And that is and that was creating problem for Gurpreet. And we Gurpreet had a brilliant game. Still, we saw on 2 3 occasions that Gurpreet made some awkward runs to catch the ball, but again those defenders came in for the same ball. So Gurpreet was also confused that whether he should stand at that
হ্যারি
position or
ম্যাগুয়ারের কেস
Sorry?
হ্যারি ম্যাগুয়ারের মতো কেস
Yeah, English, please. Yeah.
shouldn't the Manchester United player so on. It's very hurting. And that player is injured. So be some sympathy. You should have some sympathy for him. Harry Maguire is missing the Euro also. so so I think the communication is the biggest issue. But it is also true that Igor Stimac has no such players to include in that the last four to make that defense all over again so beautiful and all. But I think again tomorrow it will be like Rahul Beke and uh, Rahul Beke and Anwar Ali, and then Nikhil Pujari, and I think it will be Jai Gupta. I think Jai Gupta deserve a place. One game should not decide a player's future. And the way he played, it was a good game. Though in the press conference, Igor said that it was kind of timid approach from him because in the training sessions, I was there one day and Rahul was there every day on the training sessions. That when there was like situational practices, Jai Gupta was fantastic. He was running, he was giving those crosses, he was scoring those bangers. What we used to see in the ISL last ISL season also. So overall, coach was impressed, and he had a decent game as a debut game for national team because it was a pressure game. Like Sunil Chetri's last game, and the qualification chances was there. So as a debut game to play in front of 60,000 people in Kolkata, it was a tough game, but he did decent job. So I think he will get some game time tomorrow also. But this is the best four players Igor Stimac currently have to have these defenders.
Jay Gupta
Yes, Rohan?
played in Portugal is for Estoril, so that has actually helped him get a lot of confidence for big games. This is one point we had discussed about Sunil Chhetri also. How much important is playing in bigger, better ranked countries, club football.
Absolutely. Rahul, you have been, going for the press conferences. You've been attending training sessions. So, in short, I'm expecting some good news and some news, most importantly, from your end about the Indian camp. Some updates from the Indian camp, please. Yeah, again on mute. Thank you for the updates, but you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. At this moment, the only update is that Indian team reached Qatar on Saturday night, and they have got only one training session on Sunday, and most probably today they will have another match day minus one training session, and the press conference is at 9:30 IST. that is tonight only. So of course we'll share the updates from the press conference in our social media handle. And I think by this time, I think everyone knows that Igor Stimac has dropped three players, that is Shubhashish Bose, Amir Anwarte, and Lal Chungdunga, and they haven't disclosed the reason for the omission. But most probably, to be honest, I think because the tickets are too much expensive. It makes no reason to take all the 27 players to Qatar when you need only 23 member squad. So that's why I think. And but Shubhashi has a personal reason. Some of the Twitter handles, some of the football platforms have tweeted that Shubhashi has been dropped. But to be honest, Shubhashi is one of the most reliable defender in the Indian team. So there's no reason for dropping Shubhashi. Shubhashi has been opted out because of the personal reason. We also could not disclose the reason because it's his personal reason, to be honest. And apart from that, I think there are no such updates. But yeah, talking about Joy Gupta, so far we have seen the attacking prowess of Joy Gupta. To be honest, in ISL games also we haven't noticed Joy Gupta, to be great in his defensive role. Of course, he's a attacking side back, helps the attackers a lot in the attack. But if obviously Joy Gupta gonna play tomorrow because there is no Subhashi in the squad. If Joy Gupta get a chance tomorrow, then Joy Gupta will also have to display his defensive prowess against Qatar, because that's all we need. We can't play an attacking game against the Qatar, despite they are playing at under 23 squad, but
But we
still
have
we
to win
can't
it
take that risk.
to die.
But also a draw will be enough if the result of Kuwait versus Afghanistan game also come out in draw. So
Uh,
that's where
so
the
therefore,
chances lie.
to wait for another game actually.
Yeah.
This is
So
always
before
the
we go
case
into
with
the
any Indian team.
qualifications, uh,
This is always
what?
the case with any Indian team. Always have to wait for others' result.
And last time also when India played against Qatar, when Gurpreet Singh showed that heroic performance, that game was also a World Cup qualifier game. So we are hopeful
Mm.
that India are going to repeat that tomorrow.
Absolutely. Rohan, my last question to you. You said, you were whispering the qualification scenario. Why don't you just put it on record loud and clear? What is the exact qualification scenario for the Indian team right now?
For the Indian team, I think we are still at the second spot, and
Mhm.
our win will get us through. But I think if a draw that Rahul mentioned, the other game has also will have to be a draw. And the main thing is for the World Cup spot, we will have the third round with six teams each, four groups, two
Three
teams of
groups.
each group will be qualified. Three groups. So three into two, six teams will qualify directly,
Yeah.
and then we'll have to wait for the playoffs, right, Rahul?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
So basically, yeah.
India now have 5 points from 5 games. Qatar have 13 points from 5 games. Afghanistan is also on 5 games from 5 points. We are ahead in goal difference. We are at -3. Afghanistan is at -10, and Kuwait also have 5 points from 5 games, but we are
Mhm.
ahead in head-to-head because of the away game. So a draw will do for us, provided the other Afghanistan Kuwait match is also a draw. And if that match has a result, then we'll have to win it.
Absolutely. Yes, Rahul.
One small point: the if we finish second, then also we can qualify directly for the AFC Asian Cup in Saudi Arabia in 2027, and that going to save a lot of money for AIFF. So that's why I think AIFF gonna push the boys, to win this game, because or else you
Yeah,
will again have to play a Asian
lose
Cup
after
qualifier
semi
as they
AFF
did
winning.
in 2022. So that's going to be a hectic task. So it's better to win the game tomorrow or draw and make it to the next round.
You know what I like the most is, apart from reporting and all that, have you seen how concerned Rahul is about AIFF's money? Probably the three players are not taken because the tickets are expensive. He's a typical middle class like us. Yes, yes, Snehashish?
Because we all three know how AIFF loved Rahul. You all three know.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. We all know how AIFF loves Rahul, and in fact, one of my proudest moments, because whether you guys like it or not, all three of them started their jobs. This is not their first jobs, but they started their jobs under me. So when people talk about them fondly, I feel extremely proud. And we had gone for a Habas at Petratos interview, and I remember in the ground, everybody knew Rahul, and everybody was like, "Oh, he comes to the ground, he covers the press conferences." So Rahul is there. Why are you showing some? What are you showing, Rohan?
I am
Switching
turning
on
off
the
my
AC.
AC.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this discussion was quite a long one. We did not talk about making it 45 minutes, but that's how discussions are. Do let us know in the comment section what are your questions, what are some of the points that we have missed and you guys want us to talk about. The other thing is, if at any point of time you guys have got questions, maybe it won't be possible for us to come live all the time, but do tag us, tag any one of our profiles, Rev Sports profiles, and one of our names, whosoever you want to answer that question. Be it yes, Rohan.
So I was just going through the points table of the total
Mm-hmm.
qualifiers. Ours
Mm-hmm.
is the only group where all three teams have chance to qualify. Other than that, every other group has almost secured the top two spots. 13 8
Okay.
points, 12 10 points, 13 13 points, 15 8 points. Ours is the only group with 5 points of three teams. So all three have the chance to qualify.
We care
And
about the
that's what
competition.
India
I
does.
don't know if we are equally good or equally bad.
Um, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. Do you guys have an answer to that? Is it a good thing that the top two teams aren't decided yet? The top team is decided, of course. The second
Yeah.
team is not decided yet, and there is mid-table clash, as they call it, which is fantastic. And we'll be back with more lives, because all three of them has made a pact with me that they will give more times to the lives. But again, anytime you guys got any question, yes, nobody's allowing me to finish this live. Yes,
One
Rahul.
last update, I think it's very important because everyone was asking,
Yes.
and just few minutes ago I saw one tweet, and it's from a reliable platform that the match will be streamed live on fan code. So that's the update.
Oh,
Ah,
this is extremely important, because while you were giving me the update, actually somebody asked me that you guys are talking about everything. Is Rev Sports covering it? Rev Sports is covering it, yes, but we are not showing it. There is a difference between broadcasting it and covering it. Rev Sports covers all sports possible, but no, we aren't broadcasting it. You can see it in fan code, and we all will be watching it. We will be tweeting. We have our own Twitter handles. Do tag us. Do like, share, and subscribe to Rev Sports Premium so that you can join us for more such discussions. And whenever you join, just keep reminding Rahul to not talk on mute. See you next time. And to the three of you, let's talk on WhatsApp now. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.
before I end, because I have the back end,
Okay,
so I'll end the stream.
nobody. Okay, we are not ending the live. Yes, Rohan.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that Palestine, with all the political unrest, is on the verge of qualifying to the third round. So that shows some character from Palestine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's an immense character from Palestine, and hats off to them. Rahul, you want to say something, or
No, no,
you're just
nothing.
biting your name?
But
No,
I don't
I'm
see
just
the other.
hoping that
I
India
don't
can
see the other
replicate
team.
Palestine performance.
But I don't see the other
Absolutely.
team. So bye bye.
Yeah. So with Rohan's